Hey guys, it's the Simple Investor here. Today we're going to be talking about Google and whether I think the company is going to be affected by losing their antitrust case against the Department of Justice for a monopoly on Google search. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel as it really helps it out and like this video if you enjoy this content. But let's get right to it. So Google today took a little bit of a dip here, you'll see, just on the news of losing the antitrust case against them. The Department of Justice deemed that they have a monopoly on Google search. Part of that is the fact that they believe that Google has a monopoly in general search services and general search advertising. And part of this is actually fueled by the fact that Google actually pays Apple $18 billion a year just to be the default search engine on iPhone. And so this is obviously directing a lot of traffic to Google. And what the Department of Justice is saying is that there isn't a lot of opportunities for other search engines to really take advantage of that traffic that Google can, because Google's just paying Apple $20 billion to be the default search engine, which I think majority of people, especially in the United States, they use iPhone and Apple products. So of course, that's going to have an effect on the traffic if that's just the default one. A lot of people, I wouldn't think, would go into their phone settings and actually opt to change their browser, but who knows? But in general, Google was actually kind of one of the stocks that was petering out a little bit, part of the sell-off, but this just kind of took it a little further. But it makes the stock actually look kind of attractive at this price point. I mean, it's getting close to a 23 price over earnings, which is actually not too bad. And then if you look at its revenue, like it's still producing year over year double-digit revenue growth. Its net income is still up close to 30% year over year. Net profit margin is still really healthy, above 25%, and it's growing double-digit as well. Earnings per share, again, masked a little bit. These Magnificent Seven companies have very robust stock buyback programs, so that's going to be masked a little bit, but still really good. And then really good EBITDA as well. Really healthy earnings there. And then down on their balance sheet, Google has one of the best balance sheets in the Magnificent Seven. They have a extremely strong debt to equity ratio here. So you got their total equity at 300 billion and liabilities at 114 billion, and then you got your total assets at 400.77 billion. So again, that's really impressive. And then cash flow is down a little bit, but that's just due to capital expenditures going towards AI spending, research and development. So again, that's not something that I would be too concerned of, because a lot of these companies, like I was saying in my last video on Meta, Apple, and Google are the three companies that I really feel can monetize on AI. They have access to so much data on their clients and users that use their services that they can really kind of curate products and services going forward where they can really monetize off of it. Like I was saying, Microsoft, I still haven't seen as from an investing point of view where they can really monetize off of ChatGPT and with their partnership with OpenAI. I just don't really see how they can monetize that yet. But I mean, that's to be seen. And again, like it's also like Palantir. Palantir has the ability to really monetize AI with their government contracts and with their commercial business. They have the potential to really curate the data that they have from their clients to provide better services. But kind of further to Google's revenue here and income statement. So you can see here that search obviously generates the advertising and the ad revenue. From search generates the majority of their revenue. And this is exactly why they're being sued for monopolistic practices. It's just because they make an absurd amount of money off of search advertising. And then you can see where YouTube revenue and some of their other smaller revenue streams are a little bit, they're not as big, where search is really taking kind of the crux of their revenue. And again, they're still posting a really healthy profit margin, but it'll be interesting to see where this Department of Justice case goes, what this means for them, especially if that means, are they still going to be allowed to be the default search engine on iPhone and Apple products? That's yet to be seen. I'd be really curious to see where that goes. I mean, I honestly doubt it, just because I think that that's like literally the epitome of what the monopoly is stemming from, is the fact that they're the default search engine on the most used handheld device on the planet, which is an iPhone, or at least in North America. But that'll be interesting to see. And one thing I wanted to point out, though, too, is that Google is actually still a company that I am bullish on. I don't really see them ever losing their strength in the internet sphere. I mean, people really don't say I need to use the internet to look something up. They say I need to Google it. They still really own the internet. I think in essence, they are the internet. And if you look at one of their fastest growing revenue segments, which is Google Cloud, it's similar to Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. It's growing at a very healthy rate here. And you can see that its margin is increasing here as well. And they're actually getting a nice operating income, and their revenue is growing quite nicely. And if we look at this flow chart again, you can see that it's one of the smaller segments, and it's actually growing quite nicely. It's growing. It's actually overtaking Google Play and some of their app services they offer. But it'll be interesting to see where this goes and what this means for them going forward. But again, they're actually one of the stocks that I'm really watching right now, just because I really think the valuation took a beating with the greater sell-off. And then this here too, this Department of Justice case also just kind of was just really took it even further. But it'll be just really interesting to see going forward, kind of where this takes the company. I honestly don't think long term it's going to have an effect. But I mean, if you look at their valuation today, they're trading at a historically low price over earnings ratio. Like, I mean, the lowest it's been since today was June 2022, and then it got the highest it got was a 58.46 in 2017. So again, like, it's actually trading at a favorable valuation today. And again, they just have so many revenue drivers. They have just such a solid balance sheet. Like, this ratio here, this debt to equity ratio, is extremely healthy. They have just a robust, and they have robust cash flow as well. I mean, of course, they're spending a lot of money on AI, but like I said, they have the potential to really monetize on that AI. I don't see it as being something that it's dead money. They're going to curate services that are going to be beneficial to their users. And they have such a wide user base that I mean, they've had some issues with Gemini and their generative AI, but I really think down the road, they're going to clean that up, and they're going to be able to offer Google search with AI incorporated. I mean, they have to compete with Search GPT, which OpenAI just announced. But it'll be interesting to see kind of where that goes. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think Google's undervalued right now? Do you think it's a stock that's losing its dominance? Do you think it's a buy? Do you think it's a hold? Or do you think it's a sell? Let me know in that comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.